I'm just gonna talk about like 80s games that got 80s games on the Xbox that were made off of 80s franchises that I actually watched. Like I said, we have the Robotech anime, which is I think my favorite anime next to Voltron. Those are my two favorite animes. And then we had the RoboCop game. This one is mediocre, basically. It's mediocre. It exists. The same thing with the Robotechs. They're mediocre too. They're playable. They exist. You know. Then you have Ghostbusters, which is basically what could have been the script for the third movie. Um, but yes, you have this. Then you have Telltale's Back to the Future. Um, and then you have Top Gun Hardlock. Okay, these are all based around IPs that were big in the 80s. Now, there's only two Top Gun movies in existence, and at the time this was made, there was only one Top Gun movie in existence. And there was a short lived downloadable Days of Thunder game that you could play, which is now lost because there's no way you can download it anymore. Like I said, this was technically like would have been the script, I think, for the fourth story, or some side. This is the fourth story in the Back to the Future trilogy. Um, so yeah, it's weird how most of this, the Top Gun is the only one that doesn't fit the existing lore, because you're playing as a totally new character that has nothing to do with Maverick or any of the other, original characters. So this is a flight simulator or a flight arcade game with a Top Gun logo on it. That's all it is. But this, you have some of the voice actors from the original for the original movie. You have some plot points for, the original franchise. You know, same goes for this. This is like with the Top Gun. It's like the same stuff, kind of, but none of the original like cast returned or reprised their roles. It's just a random RoboCop game. Just kind of like what RoboCop games were on the NES. Just some random game with a RoboCop character in it. These, on the other hand, these have characters from the series in them. These have, well, I like for them exactly, but they have the voice actors reprising some of the roles. Like there's actually segments in this Robotech where you come across Roy Fokker and Rick Hunter. Somehow they're in the game, and Lisa Hayes. And I think that's the only ones you come across. 'Cause as far as I got, because the game is really hard. This one you get stuff like Scott Bernard and a few other odds and ends from Robotech Season 3, the new generation. So you get some stuff there from those characters. But, you know, it's weird how we used to have games like this all the time. Games based on beloved IPs, and now we don't. Like the last console to really do that was this. I mean, like you got two Iron Man games based on the Iron Man movies with, Robert Dipstick Jr. in them. You know, and like this one has Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson in it. And then this other one, I think it just has Robert Downey Jr. and the lady that played Pepper in it, whatever her name was. What is that woman's name? I don't even know. She's that unimportant to me. I don't know who she is. Then you have this, which is a game kind of attached to a movie license. It's kind of like what was supposed to be like the second act of the like would have been the sequel script for the second movie, but they made it into this game that's again just like the RoboCop. It exists. It's mediocre. But then you have these, where it actually kind of fits with the movie, the Spider-Mans. They kind of fit with the movie, But then there's like some other villains thrown in for context. But these are all right. The Spider-Man trilogy. I think this is really still the best Spider-Man. I don't care what you say. I think Insomniac keeps trying to imitate this because this is the best one. I want to say one thing about I haven't had a chance to play Insomniac because it's exclusive to PlayStation. I think that is BS because at one point there were Marvel fans on Xbox that don't get to play Spider-Man, don't get to play. I think a superhero game should not be restricted to a console. I think that is disgusting behavior. And like then you have Fantastic Four, which they do not know what to do with this brand. They have made a whole bunch of crappy movies with the characters. They're all garbage. Same thing with the G.I. Joe characters. They don't know what to do with them. Jim and the Holograms. Again, they're licenses people own, but they don't know what to do with the characters. So there is no good Fantastic Four game, and these aren't the only attempts. There's another attempt on the PlayStation 1, but these are the only ones I own. But yeah, those games suck. And then, like I said, you have X-Men 2 and 3, and then there's a Wolverine game out there, Wolverine's Origins or something out there somewhere that you can get if you have $100 to pay for it. Both of these I got in a bundle for like $20. So, I mean, they're mediocre, just like the Fantastic Four. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? Then we have King Kong, Ubisoft by King Kong. The only Ubisoft game I've actually played that I find it's kind of a cool concept, but again, too hard for me because have poor eyesight and I'm not good at the dark lit first person shooters. Then you have the two out of the. I don't have the other two that go on 360 because I can't find them. But funny enough, this was a launch title for the console, even though this game is complete crap. The thing is, so is this one. And then these games also, I mean, they exist. I mean, they're all right. They're like the RoboCop. They exist but they do have like the voice actors and they do have the characters from the movie. I mean, at least well, this one doesn't really. This is more of a side story. Group of characters, a different ship, a different crew besides the Nether whatever that ship's called, the Morpheus' ship. This is a different crew. This is the Morbius. This is like a different crew and different ship and how they deal with the agents and stuff. I and the voice actor is Will Smith's ex-wife, I think, or current wife. I don't know. I don't know who the hell that guy's married to. He's been married so many times. But in this one, alright. This one, I got stuck on it because I didn't know it had stealth levels. And its stealth levels are about like the Hulk stealth levels. They suck. So you have to get through the stealth tutorial before you can get to the real game. So I cannot do that because it's crappy stealth. India Chronicles of Riddick. Not a bad game. It's alright. It exists. It's. I haven't watched the movies yet. I don't know because I've been feeling so sick lately. I haven't bothered watching anything really. Then you have the Battlestar Galactica, which I think is based on the 2009 series, the reboot. Because no, this is 2000. It's 2003, so I don't know. I know that you play as the Commander Odama, so I do not know which universe it's in, or if it's just a random game with a license like the RoboCop. Because I don't know much about this series. Yeah, the original's over there, but Um, it's I don't know which version of the show this is based on. And then this was a kind of an idea that like, hey, let's do a George Takei style game to see if we could make Sulu have his own series. What this was. This was basically a pilot to see if the Excelsior could carry its own storyline. Newsflash, it didn't work. There was no George Takei Excelsior plots in movies or TV. But this was basically a pilot to see what they could do with the Excelsior ship, and the Excelsior characters. But nobody really cared. Nobody cares about the Excelsior. So, I mean, but it was an interesting idea to play a Star Trek game where you're not playing as Kirk or Picard or Cisco. You know, well, you're playing as somebody else. It was an interesting concept. I mean, you're not really playing against him. He just lends his voice talents, and you're some nameless fighter pilot and his crew. But I'll tell you one thing: being a Star Trek fan, the amount of fighter pilot games that are in Star Trek are ridiculous, and they're all crap. The first one they did on the PlayStation 1 was crap, where Worf was the captain of your starship carrier fighting the Borg. This one, you go out of universe, you go to the mirror universe. Well, again, Star Trek, I know it's a space game, but if you want a good space flight sim, I hate to say it, go buy the Star Wars ones, the Star Wars Starfighters. Those are way better than the Star Trek one. And if you want a good, like, jet, go buy Ace Combat over Top Gun. And I have, like, Ace Combat 6 over there. Uh, I can't figure out how to play it, but I have it. But yeah, yeah, these generic movie title games kind of suck. I can't believe this was actually. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, look. TDK. I don't know who that is. But hey, that same logo on here, I just now noticed. Look. TDK. Does that stand for don't do this, I guess, crap with a K? Because these games suck. TDK. I guess they're out of business probably by now, too. TDK games suck. Wonder what TD stands for. Dickhead Collective? I don't know. I mean, I'm a smart ass. Huh, and this one's by Activision, so this is a better game. Okay, well, now we know one thing. If you're buying original Xbox games, don't buy anything by these guys. TDK is just, I guess don't take this kindly. I don't know. I'm making fun of their initials. That's all they call themselves. But but again, like I said, when Activision used to do licensed games, they did pretty good. I mean, with the exception of Fantastic Four. I mean, these are all right. You can play them. They're not bad X-Men games. But if you had to choose between these and X-Men Legends, go with X-Men Legends. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing this, kind of talking about this stuff. It's weird how we don't get stuff like this anymore. I mean, I have a few licensed games. Uh, for Xbox One, I have G.I. Joe, Blackout. You know what I find weird about the G.I. Joe games? The stories. Excuse me. The storylines in the G.I. Joe um, video games um, are based around the miniseries. Like A Real American Hero, Cobra's Revenge, and Pyramid of Darkness. They basically just took those scripts and that's what they made the video games into. Like, um, the script for Real American Hero, which has to do with nanite, is basically the script for the movie, the live action movie. And but so they didn't use nanites back then, but they had teleportation technology. Basically, it's what it is in the game. It's just a teleporter. That's what it was in the show. So they took that script, tweaked it a little. And then they had the Weather Dominator thing mission in a side mission. You got to turn these computers off. That's supposed to be the Weather Dominator. So that's basically the plot of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and G.I. Joe Cobra's Revenge put in one game, as in the Rise of Cobra. Then you go to the other one, um, Operation Blackout. That is the complete plot of Pyramid of Darkness. And they hint like they're going to do the fourth miniseries, which is Suspend to Our Rise, but they never made a fourth game. I mean, no, actually they did make a fourth game, but I don't know if it follows that plot because I think it's by a different company. And they made it into a brawler. I'm like, G.I. Joe is not a brawler, it's a shooter. It's been a shooter since Nintendo. You go back and look at the two NES releases, it's a shooter. It is not a brawler. Transformers is also a shooter, not a brawler. There's a brawler version of Transformers out there. Could G.I. Joe be an RTS? I mean, it is a military game. You could take any military game, make it into an RTS. That's technically what Star Trek Legacy is. It's a well, it's not really RTS, but it's a flight simulator strategy game or squadron simulator strategy game with the AIs as dumb as rocks. And that's the one thing I would say about across every Star Trek game I've ever played. The AI companions in Star Trek are always dumb as rocks, and they're mainly what gets you a game over. Same thing with Gears of War. I don't understand. Why do you put AI companions in the game if you're on single player? If they're just gonna cost you a game over. That's why I can't beat. I would love to be able to beat Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, 3. But because the companions are so stupid, I can't get past the level because they keep getting me game over. I can't fight the monsters because the AI keeps getting down and I keep having to go revive them. I wish that they had done it in a game like that. Well, if you're playing single player, it would be like Dead Space, where when the gameplay starts back up, the other character leaves the room or something. You know, because that just sucks that you can't beat a game because it was designed around co-op play. So people have no one to play it with. Like the only reason I need to know the ending to Gears 3 is because I met some random guy in a game, a game of some kind of game, and we played the last few levels of Gears 3. Same way I know the ending of Fable 2 is I met somebody, and we played the last level of Fable 2. That's the only way I know the endings of those games. Same thing with Call of Call of Duty World at War. Come across some guys in a lobby back in the day, and they were playing the last few missions. That's the only way I know the endings of those games. Well, you can also probably look the endings up on YouTube as well, but those are censored all the crap for some of those games. And you know what? I just say this about YouTube and their censorship. You guys are overprotective as hell. It is not your responsibility as a corporation to babysit other people's bastards. All right, they're children, they're bastard children. There's 10 of them living in a one-bedroom apartment. It is not the media company's job to babysit them. Why do you have to do all this stuff to cover your butt when it is the parent's job to look at this sticker right here and say, I do not want my 10-year-old playing that, or I do not want my 10-year-old playing this. You know, that is their job as mommy and daddy to look at that sticker and say, I mean, why don't YouTube just do that? Get you some stickers like these, YouTube. Broadcast TV has stickers. Broadcast TV has stickers in their little corner of their little screen. It says TVY7, TVMA. Why don't YouTube get some stickers? Why don't you go ask some stickers? Look, here's another sticker, YouTube. Why don't you guys just throw some stickers on your content and that'll fix the problem? Everybody else has stickers. Why don't you guys get some stickers? Then you don't have to sing it, please, and censor the crap out of your network. Just get stickers like the rest of the industry.